We're ready for you, Mr. Warner.
Yes. I'd like to welcome everyone and call to order this Township of Morris Planning Board reorganization and regular meeting this evening, January 12, 2026 at 7 p.m. in person at the Municipal Building and as a courtesy viewable via Zoom. Statement of compliance. I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting was provided by the Secretary of the Planning Board by preparing notice specifying the time, date, and place of this meeting, posting such notice on the bulletin board in the Municipal Building, filing said notice with the Clerk of the Township of Morris, forwarding the notice to the Morris County Daily Record and the Morris News Bee, and forwarding by mail the said notice to all persons on the requested list. And I hereby I do not have to read that part. Please join me and stand if you can for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's now my privilege to administer the oath of office to the following board members. Richard, and if you'll please stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. Richard By, Edward Benoit, Jesse Flowers, and Class 3 Planning Board member Committeeman Ravitz. Please stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear faith and allegiance to same
and I will bear faith and allegiance to same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States and in this state,
established in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
And I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
and faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of Planning Board member
of the office of Planning Board member
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, welcome, and welcome back. Actually, everyone's a welcome back. At this time, having everyone given the oath, I'd ask Ryan for a roll call, please.
Mr. Lesso? Here. Mr. Flowers?
Here.
Mr. Barrett?
Here.
Mr. Ravitz?
Here.
Mr. Benoit?
Here.
Mr. Cohen?
Here.
Mr. By.
Here.
We have engineering consultant, Mr. Joe Voigt.
Here.
And we have our planner, Liz Laney.
Here.
I am Board Secretary Ryan Kirkpatrick.
Thank you. It's now my privilege to call for nominations for board chairperson for the year 2026.
I'd like to make a nomination. It's my pleasure to nominate Rick By for chairman for the planning board for 2026.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further nominations? Hearing none and seeing none, I'll close the nominations And since it is an uncontested election, we can have a motion second and a voice vote unanimous, I anticipate. Please, can we have a motion and a second?
I make a motion, we close the nominations.
Oh, I'm sorry, we already have our motion and second. We can have a voice vote in acclamation for our chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing and hearing none, it's unanimous. And congratulations again, Chairman Byan. It's my privilege to transfer to you the figurative gavel. I think you might have a real one.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Warner. I appreciate it. And thank you all for your continued support. I appreciate it. And in my role now as chairman for next year, I would like to nominate Joe Alesso to serve once again as my vice chair.
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, I will close the nominations. And all in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you once again, Joe. Really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you for the
that.
nomination. Pleasure to serve.
Okay, thank you. Now we have several resolutions to get through. These will all be roll call votes, but the first one is the designation of board legal counsel. First one is a resolution awarding the legal counsel position to Mr. Warner and his firm, Savo, Shaw, Corsini, Warner, Gillespie, Krodnick, and Fisher. Can I have a motion accepting?
Make a motion, we accept Mr. Warner and his firm for our planning board counsel for 2026.
And I'll second.
Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Alesso?
Aye.
Mr. Flowers?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Rabbit?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Dye?
Yes.
So moved.
Next resolution.
Thank you all for the continued confidence. I appreciate it. It's a privilege to continue to serve the board.
Next resolution is the designation of board planning consultant. We'd like to award the contract for planner services to Elizabeth Laney and of Phillips Price Craggle Laney Hughes LLC. Can I entertain a motion to
Make a motion that we appoint Liz Lehaney to be our planner for the 2026 year in her firm.
I'll second that.
Can you call the roll?
Mr. Alesso?
Yes.
Mr. Flowers?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Rabbit?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Dye?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate your coming in and what you've done so far, and expect you to continue doing in the near future. Okay, third one, professional services for our engineering consultant. Haven't had to do this up until this year. So this is a new one. So yes, we're authorizing award of the contract for engineering services to Joseph Huich of Van Cleef Engineering. I will entertain a motion to adopt.
I'd like to make a motion that we, I'm sorry, cut you off. Go ahead, Ed.
No problem. I'll move the resolution for Mr. Voigt and Van Cleef Engineers.
I'll second.
We have a roll call.
Mr. Alesso?
Yes.
Mr. Flowers?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Rabbit?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Dye?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Pleasure to continue to serve.
And we had a resolution for the designation of our board traffic consultant. This would be a resolution authorizing the award of a contract to John Jar. That's, I guess.
I'll make a motion. We move forward with contract to John Jar to be our traffic consultant for 2026.
You have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. We can call the roll.
Mr. Alesso?
Yes.
Mr. Flowers?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Rabbit?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Dye?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, and moving on. We have the professional appointments for the year, which would be this year, Mr. Ryan Krupat as our board secretary.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for joining us, and looking forward to working with you.
I look forward to working with you as well.
Okay, and then for the following committees, first up, we have the the TCC, the Technical Coordinating Committee, which will consist this year, once again, of Mr. Steve Warner as our board attorney, Ms. Elizabeth Laney as the planning consultant, and Mr. Joseph Gooch as the engineer. I am going to, this one is kind of a named committee, so I will ask for a motion to approve in a second.
I'll make a motion that we approve the appointment of Mr. Warner, Ms. Lahaney, and Mr. Vooch to the 2026 Technical Committee.
Second.
Okay, let's do a roll call on, we can do a voice vote on that, I think, so.
Voice vote.
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion's passed, thank you. Okay, and then our various standing committees, which I think we will leave unchanged from last year, if that's okay. I would appoint Mr. Michael Nunn as our the Site Inspection Committee with Joe again, and
Certainly.
I would like to be on that also, so I will continue on that. Street Naming Committee, because they've done such a bang-up job in recent years. Ed Benoit and George Quillen as our Street Naming Committee. Legislative Committee, we'll have our committee members and mayors, our Councilman Bud Rabbits and Mayor Gariglia. And Open Space designee Jesse Flowers, that's okay. So those are our standing committees for the year. Moving on to another couple of resolutions. First one dealing with the proposed meeting schedule, which we've all seen. Schedules for our meetings on January 12th, February 2nd, March 2nd, March 16th, April 6th, April 20th, May 4th, June 1st, June 15th, July 20th, August 17th, September 14th, October 5th, October 19th, November 16th, December 7th, and January 11th of 2027. We've all seen it. I will entertain a motion to approve those meeting dates.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Joe
Okay.
Lesso?
I believe that's a roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Lesso?
Yes.
Mr. Flowers?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Mr. Quillen?
Yes.
Mr. Bai?
Yes.
So moved.
And the final resolution for the evening would be the designation of official newspapers. Resolution designating the Morris County Daily Record as the official paper of the planning board, and the Morris News be designated as an additional newspaper to receive notice of meetings as required. I'll entertain a motion to.
I'll make a motion that we move forward as the chairman just articulated.
And I'll second.
Another roll call.
Mr. Lesso?
Yes.
Mr. Flowers?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Mr. Quillen?
Yes.
Mr. Bai?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, that concludes the reorganization part of our meeting. I would take a few words before we move on. I want to thank everyone again for their support and all the efforts in the last year and what we will be seeing in the coming year, which no doubt will be a busy year with all the things on our plate. So appreciate your efforts in the past and look forward to working with you all in this coming year. Okay, moving into the regular meeting then, the public hearings, I'm going to change up the order as it's shown on the agenda a little bit. We actually we have two applications to be heard tonight, and I would like to hear the Morristown Motors first, and we will move to the Morris School District second. I guess Nielsen Ford has asked to be pushed off till the next planning board meeting, so we will not be hearing that tonight. So,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, Mr. Warner.
I apologize for interrupting, but just in the event you were to move to the first application, I did want to give the full notice for carrying the Nielsen Ford
Yes,
map.
yes, please do.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. That Nielsen Ford of Morristown, Block 10201, lots 5, 9, 11, and 12, 170 Ridgedale Avenue, application to, bear with me, just lose it, reconstruction of pavement areas, pavement of existing gravel areas, new line striping, improved drainage, addition of EV charging station, installation of ADA ramps and spaces, and updating of lighting and curbs. That matter is, as the chair mentioned, being carried. To be clear, it's being carried without further notice. I did have an opportunity to review the notice. I found it to be timely served. The content was sufficient, and it was certified mailed on December 30 and 31 and published on January 2nd, all of the aforementioned being at least 10 days prior to this evening. So the board does have jurisdiction this evening to carry the matter without further notice. There will be no further notice. It will be carried to, as I understand it, and anyone please correct me if I'm wrong, our next meeting is February 2nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. at this same location, the municipal building. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our first application, which is PB 15-25. Ryan, you want to briefly introduce that? Just, you will.
The counter application is PB 15-25 Morristown Motors. The applicant proposes to amend the previously approved minor site plans by installing a 73 square foot generator pad, a 25 square foot electrical vehicle charging pad, and a 5 square foot transformer pad. The applicant also proposes to remove approximately 103 square feet of impervious surface in the rear of Lot 7 to accommodate the previously mentioned additions. This is at Block 10104, Lots 6 and 7, address 169 and 171 Ridgedale Avenue in the I-21 industrial zone.
Thank you, Ryan. Mr. Warner?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I did have an opportunity to review the notice for this matter as well, found the content to be sufficient, found it to be timely served as well, certified mail and publication on December 30, both at least 10 days prior to this evening. So the board has jurisdiction to hear and decide this matter this evening should it conclude. I anticipate it will. And I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. You ready to proceed? Do you want to?
I am. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, board members, board professionals. Peter Wolfson of the law firm of Dave Pitney, here on behalf of the applicant Morristown Motors. May I be seated?
Yes.
Thank you. So as indicated, the
Just
subject
be
property-
close to the microphone so it shows up. That's the only.
How's that?
That's fine.
Okay. As indicated, the property is commonly known as 169, 171 Ridgedale Avenue. We've been before you on a number of occasions over the years, most recently in April of last year. As you know, the two lots together are developed as a Toyota car dealership. The lots together contain 265,080 square feet. And in addition to the car dealership, it has a car wash for use by the car dealership only for its cars, a parking lot, and related site improvements. The original improvements that led to this development were the subject of previous approvals from this board, including resolution on PB-12-07, adopted on October 20, 2014. And as I said, most recently, the applicant received amended preliminary and final site plan approval, bulk variance and design waiver relief pursuant to resolution PB-03-25, adopted on April 7, 2025, to reconfigure a portion of the parking lot and walkways to provide for better circulation. The applicant now seeks approval, as Ryan indicated, to install a generator pad and a transformer pad, along with a level 3 EV charger and electric vehicle charging pad. The applicant also proposes to remove approximately 103 square feet of impervious surface to the rear of Lot 7 in order to accommodate the increase in impervious coverage caused by the proposed new improvements. As a result, there will be no proposed increase to impervious coverage on the overall site. The remainder of the site, except for those which I've detailed, will remain unchanged. The applicant is seeking a single bulk variance from your ordinance, which requires a minimum side yard setback of 15 feet for an accessory structure. Here, the proposed generator pad is located approximately 4 feet from the side property between the two lots that together comprise the car dealership, lots 6 and 7. The application was deemed complete pursuant to the correspondence dated December 22, 2025. In addition to the completeness memorandum, the applicant is also in receipt of a memorandum of review from the fire department dated January 5 of this year, and a memorandum of review from the fire department's SIC review, also dated January 5 of this year. Neither memorandum identified any questions or comments. The status of necessary outside agency approvals, we will need Morris County Planning Board approval. With me tonight, I have two proposed witnesses. We'll have very brief testimony. First, James Kaiser, who was here last year on the last iteration. He'll provide an overview of the property location and the minor modifications that are proposed. And then John Hanson, our project planner, to speak in support of the single variance that we seek. We do have a representative of the applicant, John Brower, and our consultant for the generator installation, Eric Martino. Both are here, as I say, and are available if there are any questions. So if there are no questions of me, I would call James Kaiser, our project engineer.
Do we want to swear in both witnesses at the same time?
Sure.
Why don't we do that? And
Thank you.
professionals.
Please raise your right hand as well as our board professionals. Do all four of you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you
Okay.
all.
Please proceed.
James? James, can you just share a brief background of your educational professional history and confirm that you were the engineer on our last application?
Just speak into the microphone too. That's sorry.
I don't usually have a
It is
problem
being-
with
It is
my...
being recorded, so that's
Yes.
the main reason.
Can you please provide a brief background of your educational professional experience, your licensures, and confirm that you were the expert on the last application by the applicant last year?
I received my bachelor's of science in
Thank you.
I received my bachelor's of science in civil engineering from Drexel University in 2018. I have over 7 years of design experience in New Jersey on site plans, subdivisions, and land development plans. I am a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey in current good standing. I previously testified in front of the board for the last application, and
Can you confirm you haven't forgotten anything since last year?
I have not forgotten anything since
We
last
ask
year.
that he be
Hopefully.
again accepted as an expert in the area of engineering.
Yeah, I will accept. I find that a little hard to believe. At least I certainly don't remember everything from last year, but
Me too.
he's a lot younger.
Thanks very much. Can you very briefly?
So yes, I will accept the qualifications. Please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you very briefly lead us through an orientation to the property, a reorientation, as well as a description of the modest improvements that are sought approval here?
Yes. So the property is known as Lot 6 and Lot 7 within Block 10104. The property is a commercial use and it fronts on Ridgedale Avenue, which is located to the bottom of the sheet west of the site.
And just so we can, for the record, this is a sheet that was part of the submission.
Yes, this was a part of the application that was filed. This is the minor site plan.
And it's
dated,
entitled,
minor site plan, sheet 1 of 1, dated 11/10/2025.
thank you.
No need to mark as an exhibit. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you.
Lot 6 and Lot 7 within Block 10104. The property contains Toyota of Morristown and its commercial use. It's bound to the west by Ridgedale Avenue and to the north, south, and east by commercial uses, including the hardware store, Subaru Service Center and showroom, and the CubeSmart storage. The applicant is before the board to request approval for a generator on Lot 6. It's a natural gas generator, and it will serve the Toyota building, their sales office, and showroom. I would like to introduce an exhibit entitled Generator Exhibit. Let me grab it real quick. You got it.
Mark it A1.
Yeah.
We'll mark that A1, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
And can you describe it to us?
Yes. So it's entitled Generator Exhibit. The brown is the existing building. The cream light yellow color is the existing concrete pavement. The gray is the existing asphalt pavement. The green is the grass. The light gray in here is the stairs that connect the parking lots. And this darker gray is the retaining wall. The darker yellow is the proposed concrete for the pads. And these circular ones are for the landscaping. Per the township ordinance, the generator is considered an accessory structure and therefore is required to meet the accessory structure setbacks and requirements. Per the ordinance, the accessory structure cannot be located in the front yard, so it was located 1 foot behind the existing building and 3.5 feet from the side of the building to allow for maneuverability and servicing the generator. That leaves about 4 feet, or not about, that leaves 4 feet from the generator to the property line. The applicant owns the lot that the generator is going to be located on and the adjacent property that it will be abutting. Along with the generator, a level 3 EV charger and associated pad is proposed, and a transformer and transformer pad is proposed as well. Bollards are proposed along the curb line to protect from vehicles, and the generator shall be screened from Ridgedale Avenue through the use of evergreen shrubs and evergreen trees. The EV charger pad and the transformer are not considered accessory structures and are not subject to the accessory structure setbacks. This project proposes a net zero impervious coverage. The proposed impervious coverage from the pad of the generator, EV charger, transformer pad is proposed to be mitigated through the removal of existing impervious coverage from the driveway to the east of this area. Per the bulk standards in the I-21 zone, the required accessory structure setback to the property line on the side yard is 15 feet, and the proposed setback is 4 feet from the property line. Therefore, a variance is required, and that will conclude my engineering testimony.
Quick question. How far is the generator from Ridgedale? So Ridgedale's just off the bottom of that sheet, I assume.
Yeah, Ridgedale's down
Yeah.
here. The exact dimension, I'm not sure, but it's behind the building in the setback area, so
Right.
check and give you. So the front yard setback's 35 feet, so it's greater than 35 feet, I can tell you that.
Okay. Any questions?
I have a couple of questions. The plantings, are they going to be conforming to the township do not plant ordinance? I'm sure that we have planting only native species.
Yes, they're non-invasive species that are being proposed.
Okay. And lighting, is there any lighting associated with this level 3 charger and generator for security purposes or anything like that?
Existing lighting is going to serve the areas it's lit now, so there's no lighting proposed
There's
with
no
this.
additional lighting?
Yeah, no additional lighting is proposed.
Okay. I think those are my two questions for now.
Mr. Bennett?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Is this a new generator for the property, or will this be replacing an existing generator?
This is a new generator for the property to serve the Toyota building.
Okay, and is there no other location around a Toyota building that would allow for a 15-foot setback?
So internally, we reviewed all possible locations. We found that this location was the most suitable for the generator to keep it out of the front yard and the access to the utility room and down here. So this was like what we found to be the most suitable location for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Please. I have a couple of questions. So this equipment is proposed to be on lot 6, right? The dividing line between lots 6 and 7 is to the left of the
Yes, it's
generator?
proposed to be on lot 6. This is the dividing line. This is lot 7.
Okay. And the applicant owns both Lot 6 and Lot 7.
That is correct.
So encroaching onto the setbacks somehow seems less unreasonable than if they were different owners. And my other question is about the screening. I think the TCC made a comment that the original application had 2 giant arborvitae trees. It looks like you've added 4 other bushes there.
Yeah, it was originally just 2 evergreen trees. We added additional shrubs to help buffer.
Okay, do you know what those are?
Yes, they are the shamrock inkberries.
Okay, and is the level of the staircase different than the ground just above it on your chart?
You mean right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the stairs are going down, so the wall is maintaining the elevation on each side, and the stairs are going down to this property.
And the grassy area on either side of the staircase is sloped as well?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you.
There were no, I know the TCC, one of the questions was noise, and I didn't see any on the spec on the cut sheets for the generators, any noise indications. Will it conform with our noise ordinances?
It will conform, but I'll defer to
Okay,
our planner.
fine, yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes.
Because I wasn't here last year for your presentation. Since you have a good memory, I'll ask the question. Were there plantings on the last application along Ridgedale Avenue? You have a lot of grass there, and I thought it'd be nice to have more plantings. I noticed the other application is not being shown tonight. It's going to have a lot of plantings. I thought it'd be nice to have it on both sides of the street. So I don't know what was proposed last year.
The last application was the plantings were along the grass areas up here and down in this area.
That's in the rear of the property?
Yes, the rear of the property, yes.
Not along Ridgedale?
No, there was nothing. There was no improvements along Ridgedale for the last application.
Okay. Well, it'll probably be too much for me to ask for that in relation to a generator, but I'm thinking that the streetscape in general along Ridgedale needs some work. And yeah, that nice grassy area, you'd have room for some bushes there. So maybe we'll have to address that at another time. That's all I have.
Any questions from our board professionals?
No.
Any questions of this witness from the public? Okay, seeing none.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Call John Hanson for some brief testimony relative to the 1 variance.
Thank you.
Good evening, John Hanson, last name Hansen. I was also here last year. I've been here many times over the years for this application. I'm a licensed planner and my license is in good standing.
In good standing. Okay, I'll accept. Yes, please continue.
Thank you. So very quickly, we talked about the 1 variance here. As James pointed out, the accessory structure is only the generator. The other transformer and the EV charger do not meet that definition, so there's no relief required there. We just showed those on there to make sure that understood that all the pieces have to fit together on a site like this. So that's why it was shown on A1. But this is what I would call really a classic C1 type hardship case because of the location of the existing building, the location of the building to the property line, and actually the orientation of the building. If you're familiar with Toyota Morristown, you enter from the south. So you generally, that's the front of the building, and that's where the glass is and the showroom. All the utilities and the other ground-mounted equipment are in the back where they should be. We chose this location here because it worked best. The gas comes in off the street. The gas meter is right here. The electric utility panels are right here. And so this is really the spot where you need to put the transformer. It makes the most sense and the less disturbance. So we looked at how we could orientate this to not cause the variance, but unfortunately, in order to maintain the front yard requirement and have access around the structure and be able to, buffer it and do the things that we want to do to make it look nice. It really needs to be in this location. So I think it's a hardship type variance because of the building location. As you know, as far as the positive and negative criteria goes, we have to also prove that there's no substantial detriment to the zone plan, the zoning ordinance, or the public good. And in this case, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's a very minor variance, and as one of the board members had said, it's to the applicant's own piece of property. And we went to the point of taking additional landscape measures with the green giant arborvitae and the inkberries, and it's really a two-level type of approach. So you get not only some buffering, but a little bit of screening as well. And that in combination with the existing improvements, the fence that supports the retaining wall or is on top of the retaining wall, I think that you're going to be very comfortable that this is going to be screened very nicely in the public good. There'll be no substantial detriment. So I think unless you have questions, that would really conclude my testimony. And I think this is a well thought out plan.
A couple questions. How tall is the generator itself?
I think it's about 5 feet.
Okay. How often will it be running?
It only runs to exercise it, and it's about, I think, once a month.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
once
it's
a month.
just for testing and extra.
Yeah, and you do it
except
during
for
the day.
power outages, right? So
Exactly.
it's only intended for emergency use then,
That's correct.
and testing. What hours when will it be tested?
They'll program it so it does it in the daytime hours, usually between 10 and 2 or 3.
Okay.
And at that time, obviously, you've got a lot of ambient noise from the road and everything else.
Bless you.
Will the charging station for public use or just for
That was my question.
Morristown Motors?
I think it is for public use, isn't it, John?
No, the intent is for our own vehicle.
For your own
Okay,
vehicles.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of behind that double row of parking, so it's not truly accessible. But, okay. You don't have chargers now?
We've level 2 chargers.
Okay. So,
It'll be much quicker.
any other questions? Any questions from the public for this witness?
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. I may have missed something. The gentleman who just answered the questions, was that also one of the gentlemen I swore in earlier?
Yes. No.
No?
No,
Oh, Mr. Brower.
Right.
We did have a third gentleman stand up. This is someone.
Yes.
So if I
Correct.
could just get your name and address, sir?
yeah, Jonathan Brower. Jonathan Brower, 36 Hamilton Road in Morristown, and I'm the owner of Toyota of Morristown.
Okay, thank you. And I just, if you could just raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you just gave and any more, if you give any more, is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. We got it. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
this afternoon I practiced my closing and I've got it down to 40 minutes. So we have
Okay.
nothing else.
Yeah. So, yes.
I'm sorry, Mr.
You
Chairman,
have-
I think I heard no public questions, but just want to make sure there's no public comment.
Oh, that's right. Yes, there any public comment on this application? Okay, do you want to summarize where we are, Mr. Warner? What you've heard?
Certainly, it's, and bear with me, it's I think we've been, well, it can be considered a minor site plan, but we've been doing amended preliminary and final for the last several, but this is pretty minor. I think we can consider this a minor site plan as Ms. Laney has it, together with the one variance, accessory side yard structure variance for the generator of 4 feet versus 15 feet from the property line, notwithstanding the facts that the applicant owns both lots. And the conditions of approval are fairly limited. Perhaps the generator, just confirmation that the generator will be tested during the daytime hours. If we can have 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., but if that's too limiting, we could just keep it to not between 9 to 5. I offer that to Mr. Wolfson.
That 9 to 5 is fine.
9 to 5 is okay. And otherwise, I frankly didn't hear any other conditions of approval, but I'm open to hearing them should any board members or professionals correct me.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah. Mr.
Yeah, I thought I heard testing will be done once a month.
Well, yeah, okay. And that limitation is sufficient, Mr. Wolfson? One time a month during those hours?
Yes, it is.
Okay. 9 to 5, one time per month.
So you're probably going to have inspections done quarterly besides your need to run your generator on a monthly basis.
Plus quarterly inspections.
Okay, we'll accept that.
Inspections, okay. We'll ensure to convey that to our compliance team that will be out there every day. Okay. If that's it, then, Mr. Chairman, it'd be a motion, second roll call vote if it's to approve for that relief. The minor site plan, the one bulk variance with the conditions stated.
Mr. Chairman, if I may make a motion to approve the minor subdivision with the variance relief and move this to a vote.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Okay. Could you call the roll? Sir?
Sure. Mr. Alesso?
Yes.
Mr. Flowers?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Mr. Quillen?
Yes.
Mr. Bai?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you all.
Yes.
Thanks for not taking 40 minutes to close.
Yeah. Because then Steve would have had to take 20 minutes at least to summarize.
Shots fired.
Just under 40 minutes.
That's a new.
Okay, so moving on to the second application of the evening. We have PB 10-20, no, wrong one. PB 14-25. Wait for Ryan to come back here, Matt. Introduce that.
And Mr. Chairman, if we're going to have that, Mr. Is Ryan going to identify that one first, and then I'll
Yes.
chime in with respect to the process.
Next up, we have calendar PB-14-25 Morris School District at Block 901, Lot 3 on 10 Jane Way in the OSGU zone. The applicant proposes the installation of a 179,641 square foot synthetic turf multi-use field.
Mr. Warner?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. As the board knows from having done this at least a few times in the past, if not more, this is a capital project review. It is a public hearing, so it takes, the process is the same as with applications for development like the one we heard just moments ago, with public questioning, public comment, etc. But it is a capital project review. Our role is only recommendatory. The school district is the applicant. They are generally exempt from municipal zoning, and they are actually subject to regulation by the New Jersey State Department of Education with respect to location and characteristics and the like of their development applications, including the installation of this field. So this is a capital project review under Section 31A of the Municipal Land Use Law. And again, we'll hear it, but it is not, we don't have the authority to deny. We only have the authority to review it in the context of the consistency with the master plan and to make any recommendations we deem appropriate along with that determination. So hopefully that gives you the flavor and refreshes everyone's recollection as to how to handle a capital project review. And I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman, with the suspicion that you'll be turning it over to Mr. Newmark at some point.
Yeah, probably right now.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Martin Newmark. I'm with the firm of Porcho, Bromberg, and Newman, representing the Morris School District this evening. I concur in everything that Mr. Warner has said. I find it very interesting to be hearing him from on high, which is probably very appropriate. Steve, I'm missing you, but I'm hearing you very well. So Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
As indicated by Mr. Warner, this is a capital project review. We sometimes refer to it as a courtesy review, and we will try to be courteous in this presentation and brief and to the point. I have reviewed all of the committee reports, and I don't know whether it's your practice to have the engineer mention his report or the planner make comments with respect to the TCC report before we begin, but I leave that up to you, Mr. Chairman, and your professionals.
No, they can bring that up.
Okay, well, we have, I'm sorry.
And actually, I'm sorry.
During your presentation, they can bring up the
Okay,
points.
very good. Well,
as
we
needed.
have, as I said, we have seen those reports and we appreciate the effort that went into them with respect to the Environmental Commission. We have exchanged reports with them and we appreciate their effort. And they asked us to, when I say us, the Morris School District, to consider alternatives. Alternatives have been considered and the Morris School District has determined to go forward with the turf field, and that's the application and the presentation that we're about to make. I have two witnesses tonight. One is the project engineer, Anthony Gianfacaro, who is the engineer and will take you through the plan. And I also have here tonight at the to address an issue raised by the TCC with respect to how and when and by whom the new field is going to be used. And we have, excuse me, Smitty Horton, who is the athletic director of the Morristown High School, and he will address that issue. And with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I will be seated.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Please.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may, before I swear in the witnesses, I did neglect, and I apologize, to note that the applicant did provide notice for this capital project review. The content of the notice was sufficient. It was timely served December 19th for certified mail and publication more than 10 days prior to this evening. So the board, of course, does have jurisdiction to hear this capital project review. And if our board professionals, as well as the two named witnesses, will all raise their right hand, I will swear them in. Do all of you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. Mr. Gianfacaro, would you tell the board something about your credentials and experience in the field of civil engineering?
I am a licensed engineer in the state of New Jersey. I'm also a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey. I've been practicing engineering for 38 years. I've testified in front of this board, and
I offer the gentleman as an expert in the field of civil engineering.
And your license is still in good standing?
yes, my license is in good standing.
Okay, yes,
Very good.
I'll accept. Please proceed.
Mr. Gianfacaro, did you prepare some exhibits to assist you in the presentation?
Yes.
I want to clarify, and I'm going to ask you to clarify. I know that some of those exhibits were submitted to the board and are going to be shown on the screen, and I think maybe that you were able this evening to provide additional exhibits to the Township
Yes.
Planning Board's IT person, and that you may be able to use all of the exhibits on the screen. Is that correct?
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay, so that's what we're going to try to do.
Right.
Okay. So feel free to refer to those exhibits when it is helpful to do so. What is the first exhibit? I think we have pre-marked these exhibits.
Yeah, so
what is A1?
So the first one, if we could bring up, is the aerial. That's one of the ones that we sent over this evening. I think it says aerial on it.
That's not it.
That's not it. All right. Yeah, that's a portion of it. Okay.
Can we try, well,
that's not-
let's try it again, and if
No.
not, we do have the
No,
old-fashioned board.
yeah, for this one, let's use the board.
Okay, so.
All right. I apologize for that.
Back to what I grew up doing.
Yeah. So the first one, we'll call it A1 for right now. It's just it's an aerial from Google Earth showing the existing condition of the property. And if you look at the top of the sheet, you'll see Hanover Avenue, and then Janeway comes perpendicular to that, heading south down the page. And as you pass the Morris Township Public Works Recycling Center, which would be on your left as you're driving south, you would then enter onto the Frelinghuysen Middle School property. And as you were to drive onto the property, there's a roadway in front that loops around. There's parking in front inside that circular loop. And right behind that is the Frelinghuysen Middle School. There's some tennis courts on the property. There's fields along the westerly side, and there's fields behind the school also.
Yeah,
There's
Mr. Jennifer Carroll, would you be more specific with respect to the fields? I think there's a softball field and a baseball field. Would you point
Right,
those
there's
out?
some softball fields on the property behind the school. There's a baseball field also to the west of the school. And there's also a field, if you were to come back and enter the property, there's a large field to the east of the Janeway roadway.
Can you point out on that exhibit where the new turf field is proposed to be installed?
So the new turf field is proposed in the large field to the east side of Janeway that you see on the aerial view here. So if we could now go to the site plan drawings, specifically SP 2.1, if you could call that up.
Can you back off so I can, thank you. That's okay.
Just like that.
We seem to be having some technical difficulties here, and again, we can go back to the boards, which we do have.
If we could pull up the site plans, the site plans, there were a number of pages, I think there were 11 sheets, something like that, and SP 2.1, I think, is like the third sheet in.
I think it's the second sheet.
So,
I could be wrong.
okay.
Well, let's go.
Is there someone working on getting that up onto the screen?
Anthony, why don't
All right, let's
you go
just
back
go to
with-
the board. Oh, there we go.
No, that's
No,
not it.
that's-
That's not it. Okay. All right,
That's-
Anthony, what is Exhibit 2.1?
All right, you know something, rather than have you stand here, let's set up. All right. 2.1 is one of the sheets that you have in the set. And what 2.1 is the construction plan for the new field. And again, you'll see, as we described before, you come onto the property from Janeway, there's some parking out in front. This is the part of the circle going up to the school to the south of the circle. But again, as soon as you come onto Janeway, on the east side, we're proposing 179,000 square feet of turf material. The turf is a synthetic material that looks like blades of grass. Underneath that turf, we're going to have 12 inches of stone, and the stone will, when it rains, the rain will percolate through the turf and it'll go into the stone. There'll be a series of under drains underneath that will slowly drain the field to an outflow structure. And this is all in the drainage study that we submitted. And the 2-year storm will leave the site at 50% of what the 2-year storm leaves the site today. The 10-year storm will leave at 75%, and the 100-year storm will leave at 80% of what's leaving the site today in a grass state, not as a turf state. Okay, the turf on the turf you'll have on the west side there'll be a regulation baseball field with your standard 90-foot bases. On the east side there's going to be a softball field, your standard softball field. I think we have about 300 foot down the right field line at baseball. I think we're 200 or 225 down the right field line of the softball. The entire project will be fenced in, so animals and kids can't just drive bicycles onto it. There'll be a 4-foot fence in the outfield of the baseball. I think we're calling for an 8-foot fence. There'll be backstops on both the baseball and the softball. There will be dugouts, and I'll show you a picture of that as one of the exhibits. There'll be dugouts for both the home and visiting on the baseball, and there'll be dugouts on the home and visitor for the softball. There will also be some portable bleachers for both the baseball and the softball. There'll be a bullpen for both the baseball and the softball. And on the baseball side only, we'll have an area that they could use a pitching machine or take batting practice. There'll be a batting practice, and that'll be on that side.
Can you explain to the board? I see home run fences. That's what I'll
Yes.
call them. Can you explain how they'll work?
Sure. We are proposing portable fences for a home run for the baseball and a home run for the softball.
And why are they portable? Why are they temporary or portable?
They're portable so that they can be set up during the spring season to play baseball, and they can be removed after spring season. So that, and we'll show you on the site plan if we could get it shown with the colored rendering. You'll see that we're going to propose soccer and possibly field hockey in the 2 outfields that'll span the outfield. So it's not just a baseball and softball field. It's a multi-use field. They could play softball, they could play baseball, soccer, field hockey, and we're going to put what they call tick marks so that if the future they ever want to play lacrosse, they could do that in the future. Right now, we're not proposing that because baseball and lacrosse play at the same time. They play in the same season. They're both spring sports. So, but that is something that could always be done at a later time.
Now, you said that you did have an exhibit that, but you don't have a board for it, but hopefully perhaps maybe it can come up on the screen that would show that more graphically.
Yeah. Can we try to bring up SP 4.2, please?
And if we can't, it's quite frankly not that important.
I think it was in the set of documents that were on the website.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Have it up.
Well, let's move forward and not get
Well, let's
bogged
give it-
down
All right.
on that particular exhibit, which, as I said, I don't think is that important. You mentioned in your testimony dugouts, and you mentioned a dugout. Do you have an exhibit that
Yeah.
would show the board what the dugouts would consist of?
That was also sent, but we'll go with this one. Yeah. So we'll have two dugouts on the baseball.
Mark that one A3 if we may.
Sure. So,
That has been marked as A3, is
Yeah.
that correct?
well, I have it on here as A3. I'll have to.
That's okay. You don't have to mark it right now. We don't
All
want to
right.
interrupt the flow. You can do it later.
We'll leave these with you. So, I don't know where I'm looking at, but whatever. We'll have two dugouts on the home and away for baseball and home and away for softball. On one of them, one of the baseball ones and one of the softball, there'll also be a little area for storage. It's really for the pylons, the flags for soccer, some of the bases, if they want to take the bases off season out of the baseball. So it'll just be a little storage area, but it's a modular dugout. It comes in one piece, comes on the back of a flatbed. They drop it in place, and we could pick a full choice of colors. Obviously, we haven't done that at this point. It'll probably more than likely be the Morristown
Now,
school colors.
the TCC specifically asked for us to produce at this hearing a picture of what the scoreboards will look like. Do you have an exhibit that would help us with that?
Yeah.
And I believe that exhibit was marked A3.
So there'll be two scoreboards on.
Bear with me. We'll call it A4. It's since we're going in that order. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, Steve, that's fine.
So there'll be two scoreboards, one for baseball, one for softball. They'll be 5 foot by 14 foot. They'll have obviously lights to show the score, the innings, balls and strikes, outs, and the time also for when they're playing soccer. One will be used for. Okay, there's the scoreboard up there, but okay, can you go to the first page of that? Right, yeah, exactly. There it is right there. Keep going up. Keep going up. Yeah, right there. There you go.
Stop.
There you go, right there. So it's a traditional scoreboard. It's nothing, overwhelming. It'll be 10 foot off the ground.
Why will it be 10 feet off the ground?
Because we don't want to make it easy for kids to jump up and hit it. So we only put it that high just so it's out of the way, and it's not a nuisance for kids if it's.
It's
6 feet off the-
experience has shown that kids are
Yes,
inclined
they'll
to do
hit
that
it
if
with
it's lower.
anything they could hit it with. So we just, that's the only reason that we put it 10 feet off the ground.
Now, going back to, I think it's 2.1, can you show the board where those scoreboards are proposed to be located?
Yeah, one will be out in the. If you could call up the drawings too on the video, that might help too. The one scoreboard for baseball will be down the left field line, about midfield probably right around where the outfield fence is. So it could be used for both baseball and it could be used for soccer and field hockey and or lacrosse. And then the softball one will be down the right field line all the way at the end of the field.
Would you, Mr. Gianfacaro, with my pen, if it works, mark where those are going to, approximately where they're going to be?
And you're marking that on which exhibit is that?
Which exhibit is that, Anthony? That's the second one. It's 2.1.
It's sheet 2.1.
And that was previously marked as exhibit A2. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. All right, I think
So there'll be two scoreboards on the field. Again, this one, near the softball will be for softball. The one for baseball will be used for multi-sports.
Now, Mr. James Vaccaro, thank you very much, Ms. Smitty. The TCC specifically in their report asked for an explanation of the benefits of the turf field. Can you very briefly explain your understanding of why that was why that was chosen?
Sure. When, and this goes for, all over the state, not just Morristown. When you have a grass field and the season starts on March, I think the first week of March, I think it's like March 4th or March 6th. Most of the time, it's difficult to get out on a field because it's too wet. Okay, so the advantage of playing on turf is that, number one, at the beginning of the season, as long as there's not snow on the ground, you could be sure that you can go out on and play on a turf field. The other thing is during the season, if we get a torrential rain, I mean, I'm sure most people are aware that, there's, phone calls are made, earlier in the day, hey, we got to cancel the game because, we have a river running down first baseline, or, there's a pond at home plate. They throw stay dry out there and try to get the field ready for a game. And a lot of times games get canceled because the field's too wet. You never have to worry about that on a turf field. As soon as it stops raining, you could be out there playing immediately after. Baseball's not played in the rain, as we all know, but, soccer games and so on can be played in the rain, and you don't have to worry about mud or canceling a game due to the weather. So that's the biggest advantage.
Mr. Jim Vaccaro, you're familiar with the fact that the Morristown High School has used a turf field for the past 16 years?
Yes, there's a turf field behind the high school.
The experience that the Morris School District had with that field play into the decision to go with turf?
Absolutely. They've been successful with it.
Thank you. I don't think I have anything further for you, so.
Okay.
I have no further questions for this witness.
I have a question. One of your exhibits shows a silt. I'm assuming that it also could collect.
I apologize, but can the board members please speak into their microphones? At least I could not hear that question.
One of the exhibits that you have, I think it's page 9, has what looks like a silt filtering system that probably picks up some type of particulates. I noticed that in one of the reports.
Is that on the soil erosion plan?
It's the site plan 5.2, and it's page 9.
This is a soil erosion plan. This is for soil erosion during construction.
Oh, okay.
Soil erosion and sediment control plan.
Mr. Lesso, does that
Soil
answer your
erosion
question?
notes and details, that is correct. I don't see that it says that it's just for construction, but I accept that. So this is not a permanent device that would stay there to filter the water that leaves through the outflow structure.
No, that's correct.
Is something like that possible that you can add to prevent the idea of particulates from the turf field getting into the stream system? Can that be collected?
There's going to be a grate on top of. We have a trench drain at the end of the field on the north side. The north side of the field will have a trench drain. The majority of the water from this field is going to percolate through the field. It's not going to make it into the trench drain. We always put a trench drain in when we design because we like to be ultra conservative. Okay, there could be some runoff off the field, so we put a trench drain on the south side. We've done fields that we had no drain; everything goes through. But in this situation, we like to do it as a precaution. Will there be some particulates? Absolutely. I'm not going to stand here and say there won't be any at all. But it's like when you go to a track and there's a turf field on the inside of a track. There's a trench drain around, and if you look down, there may be some the rubber, the crumb rubber in there, but it's not like it's filled up halfway, or it's not like it's even an inch thick. Yes, some will get in there. If I put something so fine that's going to try to collect that, I mean, we could look into doing something like that, but it's generally not done because there's not that much of it that will ever make it into the trench drain. Again, because there's not a tremendous amount of runoff off of these fields. It's very, very little. The majority of it, the rain comes and it goes through the field. It's a perforated carpet. We have that, and that's the purpose of having so much stone below these fields. There's going to be 12 inches of stone below that field, and that's what's going to hold the stormwater back.
Thank you.
And just to close on that thought, so that's a maintenance,
yes,
continued maintenance of your stormwater structures, and in doing so and doing that per your plan, then those particulates don't make it out the ultimate outfall from the facility.
Yeah, we have someone's got to go in at least 4 times a year to manage that. We provided a maintenance plan, and someone has to go and clean that out at least 4 times a year.
And that hasn't been submitted with this application?
Yes, that's part of the drainage study. That's in the back of that packet, like 300 pages.
Any other questions?
Yeah. I have a couple of quick questions, and I'm going to get back to the turf question, the particulars in a second. But my first question is the funding in place for this capital project?
Yes.
Okay. And in terms of the grade or the type of turf that's going to be used, is that the best in class currently in terms of what other school districts,
Yes,
public or private, are using?
Yeah, it's similar to what we've used in the past. In this case, we've specified a turf that's manufactured by a company called Field Turf.
Okay.
They're all over the state. They're at Rutgers. They're in MetLife Stadium. It's something that is.
But is it current best in class? I think
Yes.
Mr. Newmark mentioned the high school's turf is in place 16 years, but my guess is that the technology has improved.
That's
since
correct.
then.
No, this is
the
new and improved.
new and
Absolutely.
improved version.
Right.
Okay. And in terms of the structures that are going to go on the site, you pointed out the dugout and some other things. I didn't see any bleachers or hear you mention bleachers. Will there be bleachers there?
Yeah, there's 2 areas. Who's ever controlling this, can you slide back down to SP 2.1?
Perhaps you could just put up the sheet.
No, he's going to do it.
Oh, here we go. Now we're getting there. Down one. Next one down.
Okay. All right. If you look on the right field line, okay, at the baseball, there's 2 like little rectangles. Okay. Those are going to be concrete pads where we could put 2 portable bleachers. Portable meaning it's the one that's only like 5 rows. That's maybe 18 to 19 foot long. Okay. And those bleachers will be on the right field line for baseball, and you'll see on the opposite side of the field, they'll be there for softball. So we do have a place where spectators can sit.
Okay. And my final question is, so the baseball field and the softball field are going to be relocated to this area. What's going to become of the existing baseball and softball fields that I saw?
They're going
on
to
the other
remain.
side? They're going to remain?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have.
Yeah, Mr. Roberts.
Just real quickly, is this for the exclusive and sole use of the Morris School District, or will this field be available to?
Excuse me, Mr. Ravitz, the next witness is going to address that very question.
Okay, then I'll wait.
Yes.
I have a question about drainage, another question about drainage. You mentioned some statistics related to storms of certain frequencies, a 2-year storm, a 10-year storm, and so forth with percentages, and I didn't quite follow. Could
Sure.
you just repeat that and give a little more explanation?
Sure. When the DEP has the stormwater management criteria, we look at three storms. We look at a 2-year storm, which is a 2%. That's, interval. We look at a 10-year storm, and we look at a 100-year storm. And if you go through the drainage study, you'll see that not only do we use a current 2-year, 10-year, and 100-year storm, the DEP now in 2023 brought up new regulations that we have to design for a future 2-year, 10-year, and 100-year storm. So even though the 100-year storm may be about 8 inches of rain, we designed this project to over 12 inches of rain. Okay, now, when it rains on this grass area, on the 779,000 square feet, some of it's going to go into the ground and some of it's going to run off. Okay, we take all that into consideration in the drainage study. We then say, okay, how much is running off today on the 2-year storm? So the DEP says it's a certain rate of runoff. You're only allowed to with this new field, you're only allowed to let 50% of that go off the site. That's that rate.
In a 2-year storm?
In a 2-year storm, it's only 50%. So that's why we put stone underneath the field and we fill up underneath the field, and then we let it out at a slower rate that's going out today. The 10-year storm, we have to hold, we're only allowed to let out 75%. So we have to hold 25% of that back. And the 100-year storm, we have to hold 20% back. We're only allowed to discharge 80% of the existing storm. And that's all laid out in that manual that we submitted, or that drainage study that we submitted.
So you're saying you comply with the regulations?
Yes.
Okay, but you're not asserting that you do anything beyond what's in the regulations. Is that true?
Well, we're doing what the regulations call for.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand. So getting back to a 2-year storm, the way the 2-year storm is described, 50% of the water would run off and 50% would seep in.
No, it's all going to go into the ground.
Okay.
It runs off at a certain rate. Okay. It's a certain CFS, cubic feet per second. I could give you the number if you want, but it runs off at a certain rate. That rate that's running off today, we have to slow it down. The DEP says, we're not going to let you flood somebody downstream. Okay. What's running off your property today, you can't let any more than that rate run off. So you let it run off at a slow rate. So instead of running off all at once, it runs off over the next 24 to 72 hours. It goes out slowly.
But much of the water does not run off. Much of the water percolates, right? That was your
Some of it
point.
the way we designed it, none of it will percolate. It's all going to percolate through the field into the stone, and then it runs off, and the stone is going to hold the storm back. And then ultimately it'll all run out.
It never goes below the stone. It goes into the substrate.
We are not designing it as some may go in. We did field testing here. There's we got K0 soils, which showed very poor percolation. So when we did our study, we assumed nothing would be percolating into the ground below the stone. Okay. We assumed that as a conservative approach. We're assuming everything's going to leave, but it's going to leave at a rate slower than what it's leaving the property today.
Okay, I understand.
Just to add to that, so the system is designed to promote infiltration, and to the extent that the underlying soils will allow for infiltration, they will infiltrate equal to the way that the existing field does. But the testing that they've done shows what they call K0 soils. Those soils are, we would classify them as a D soil. That's the least amount of porosity. And so with that, the existing benchmark is a very small amount that is to infiltrate. They are meeting that requirement of infiltrating the same amount through their analysis. So they are complying with groundwater recharge, and then they are, as they said, slowing down all the storms to meet the major development standard. Okay. And just a point of clarity for the board, major development stormwater, right? We're here under capital project review. As some call it a cursory review, we call it a capital project review, right? There are certain exemptions from zoning and other things for different public entities. One of those is not stormwater management. Stormwater management is my jurisdiction in the other room as the township engineer. It's an obligation of me to review this and certify it under the MS4 permit. Any type of improvement, if done by our municipality, has to meet the same. Done by DOT, transit, etc., has to meet the same, and they are fully providing that compliance.
And you're satisfied that the plan they presented satisfies all those?
I am. There are some technical nuances for the finalization of the report and the as-built to get to the stormwater maintenance manual.
Okay.
And that is typical of any major development we see as a planning board. But it does still ultimately end with a manual on file, on deed, for obligations to maintain this facility.
Mr. Gianvaccaro, you understand what the engineer just said, and you
Yes.
understand that you're going to, at the end of the day, you're going to have to satisfy him.
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, I still need some clarification because you say that the runoff will be slower. Is that the runoff from the surface, or is it runoff from the soil, from the stones in between, or is it runoff going through the pipes to the stormwater system? How does it
The
become
runoff
50%
from this
less?
property leaving the property
On the surface?
on the surface. But
They essentially assumed.
okay, so it starts to rain on this property. Okay, there's a certain formula, as your engineer also cited. There's a certain formula about you do soil testing, which we did, and there's a certain amount is going to go into the ground, and a certain amount's going to leave and run off. Okay, so with that, you determine what the runoff rate is. Some's going to go in, but in this case, it's a de-soil, so very little of it's going to go into the ground. Okay.
Right now, it all runs down the driveway.
It all runs down across the
Neighbors.
property. Okay, everything's sloping. We're sloping we're keeping the slope pretty much the way it is, which is to the north and also to the west a little bit. Everything's going towards your municipal property.
Right.
So the water runs off, and it runs off at a certain rate, and it's based on numbers, calculations, what they call a coefficient number. I'm getting a little into the weeds here, okay?
I'm fine with that.
There's a coefficient, and it's based on the soil type, and it's based on the fact that it's grass. So the DEP says, okay, based on the fact that it's grass and it's this soil type, this is what's going to run off. So that's a number. That's the starting point. Now we're going to put a turf field in that the water's going to go straight into the ground right away, just like that. If we didn't have any storage underneath, it would go rushing downstream. So instead, what we do is we say, all right, we're going to collect it. We're going to put it in a series of underground pipes, and it's going to start to fill up. And as it starts to fill up, we're going to have what they call an outflow structure at the end. And that outflow structure, based on the size of the weir, the size of the orifice we have, well, in this case, it's a weir, the water is going to flow out of that at a certain rate. And we calculate that. And that rate, I'm telling you today, is going to be slower than what's going off the site right now, today.
I understand that. So you're creating a new sort of point source effluent by the subsurface filling up and discharging into one particular area to flow out.
Right.
Okay. So
So-
the
so
depth of the soil being, the depth of the stone being 12 inches is needed in order to allow the collection of soil to go off slower.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
essentially a field-sized detention basin.
Yes.
It's
Right.
basically an underground detention
Covered
system.
base, yeah, okay.
Exactly. That's exactly
All
what
right,
it is.
thank you. Now that,
And
that
we-
makes sense to me. But I do want to get to, because, you know, there was a well-done report by our environmental commission, and then there was the report done by the applicant, and then there was another. And I think we deserve we all need to make that discussion. And I'm concerned, of course, about the PFAS going into the soil and all of that. So Are you prepared to talk about some of that stuff? Because I think that. is
No,
something
I'm
that we
not.
should-
That's,
Let me
Who would that be?
let me just address that. This, as Steve mentioned at the outset, and I mentioned, this is a 31 courtesy review. We're not asking for your approval. We're not asking for variances. This is not a site plan application. It's designed to present to the board and the public what is being proposed. We are not prepared to, nor do we think we are obliged to, get involved in the debate about between whether grass is preferable to turf or turf is preferable to grass, or there's anything problematic about turf. We are not prepared to do that, and we don't think that that is necessary or appropriate for this kind of an application. If this was an application for site plan, altogether different rules and altogether different presentation. But we are not here to debate that. I think you have seen, I think we submitted tell me the name of the study. There's a name for it, and I keep forgetting what it is. It's an environmental impact research guide that I think was distributed to everyone. We also saw what was distributed to everyone was the Environmental Commission report. And they disagree, which is not unusual. And the question that was posed by the Environmental Commission was, has the school district considered alternatives? And the answer is that they have, and they've come down on the side of turf. And to answer your question respectfully and not meaning to be presumptuous, we are not prepared to, nor do we think we are obliged to, get involved in the discussion of forever chemicals and all of that.
But it's true that we can make recommendations.
That's correct.
Right?
You can make the recommendation, and you can do it based upon your Environmental Commission's report. If you accept that, you may make that recommendation, and that's within your jurisdiction.
Okay, thank you. I want to be clear for the members of the audience who are here, who may have comments and concerns, that this be openly discussed so that we all understand what it is that you just said and the conditions for what it is that we're doing and what we're approving or what we're agreeing to.
Your question was appropriate, and I'd like to think my answer was as well. And for the benefit of the public, the Commissioner of Education has the final word on this. So it's not like whatever we say has to go. This is going to have to be approved by the Commissioner of Education down in Trenton.
Right, and thank you for that. Maybe, do you know, or can you speak to the preponderance or the amount of school systems in the state that are converting to artificial turfs, and basically the position of the New Jersey Department of Education on those transitions?
Do I know it, or am I prepared to present it?
Either way.
The answer is, there is someone in the room who could address it. I really don't think we should get into it. I don't think it's helpful. As I say, you have your Environmental Commission's report. You have the Environmental Impact Research Guide. I could represent to you, it's my understanding that this particular kind of field, in the last few years, there are many in Morris County. You want to give me a number?
In Morris County alone, probably over 100.
Over 100 in Morris County.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that I want to be respectful to the people in the audience who came here for a reason and probably want to have some understanding of what our role is versus what it is that you're proposing. And I wouldn't want to have the board here make an assertion that we have no problem with this in relation to our master plan, with them leaving thinking that we like the idea of
Mr. Benoit,
artificial turf.
I understand you. You're absolutely correct. And I think that the public should know from you, your professionals, your commission. I don't know whether the public has had the opportunity to review the extensive 15-page Environmental Commission report, which is opposed to this plan. It's very emphatic, and we respect it. We disagree with it, but we respect it. And as I suggested, the nature of this proceeding, which is somewhat perhaps unusual to the members of the public, we are not asking for your approval, nor respectfully do we need your approval. And however you act on this, and essentially I think what you're going to do, and Steve can correct me if I'm wrong, at some point you're going to presumably adopt a resolution or prepare some kind of a communication to the Department of Education with your views on this. So those views can be made known to the Department of Education that will have the final say on this. So whatever you do, the board is not, respectfully to the audience, it's not within the purview or jurisdiction of this board tonight to decide that turf fields are better than grass or grass is better than turf. It's simply not something that is appropriate for them to decide. They can consider it, discuss it, and have an opinion on it, and they can express the opinion, but it really is not something that needs to be debated, because we could probably get involved in a debate that would go on for hours, if not longer. And I hope that
Thank you.
answers
Yes, it
your
does.
question.
That's what we need to hear.
Back to the Environmental Commission report, different aspect of it. There was some lack of clarity, I thought, on tree removal plan. And
I'm
how
sorry,
many trees
Chairman.
would be removed, or if they would be, you didn't think so, but it is.
Yeah, on the north side of the field, up against the property where the Public Works is, the surveyor didn't pick out every tree. So what appears to be a tree line is underbrush, some trees. We're going to take down as little as we have to. We hope that we're not going to take down any. We may have to take down a few, just because we're going to have to do some regrading in that area. And we can't push dirt up against a tree, or else we're going to kill the tree. But on that side, it's going to be minimal. And again, we hope that it's not going to be much at all. There's another tree line over by the softball field.
Finally, that's what I'm more concerned with. That's the one screening.
Well, that's what I kind of figured.
Yeah.
We're not going to take down any of those trees.
Okay, so
There's
none of-
tall trees there. Even though they're on our property, we don't have any intention of, and if you look at our grading plan, we're not even regrading. Okay. There's some fencing, there's a shed, I think, over on our property. We're not going to touch any of that. Okay. We want to leave that undisturbed. Right behind the trees, obviously, we're going to, be doing some earth moving. We're going to have a dugout there, but we're not going to touch, we don't plan on touching any of that.
So the trees on the
Yeah.
trees and shrubs, whatever, on the east and
Yeah.
south sides in that corner will not be
Yes,
touched.
we intend on leaving all of that.
Thank you.
We don't want to touch any of that.
Any other questions? Anything from our board members, professionals? Does the public have any questions of this witness? Please step up and identify yourself, name and address. And these are questions to this witness and his testimony. There will be time for comments later, but these are questions.
Yes, okay.
So
Just
you can turn the mic around, I guess.
Vicky Barbu,
Anthony,
you guys can
move
hear me,
over to the
right?
side so I can see you.
So,
I'm sorry, can we have your name and address, please?
sure. Vicky Bargu, 11 Mark Twain Drive.
Can you speak into the microphone?
Vicky Bargu, 11 Mark Twain Drive in Morris Township. I'm here as a citizen and not part of the environmental group, even though I am part of the environmental group. Couple things. You said that it is not a discussion in regards to, the ordinance of putting turf, grass versus turf. One of the key things I want to make sure is addressed. Are you familiar with bill in the Senate at the moment in the state of New Jersey, Bill S3783? I think that's something that has to be reviewed. This is a new bill that's going in that says prohibits municipal.
I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Ma'am, my apologies. As a board attorney, I'm constrained to just remind the chair that I believe we're at the question point, Mr. Chairman, and not the public comment, which will be forthcoming. But if you have a question for the witness based upon his engineering testimony, this is the time to ask those questions.
Okay, so then I'll go back and in regards to public, but let's talk about the trenches. In the environmental report that was put forth today, in regards to the microplastics are about 5 mm's. What are you putting together? Because I didn't think it was sufficient what was explained, how that's going to be captured, that it doesn't run off into the tributaries, which are not that far off. And it's 5 mm in regards to the microplastics. How is that going to be captured with the plans that you put together today? And that was part of the addendum that was submitted today with all the special points.
If you're asking about the crumb rubber, and if anything runs off, it's gonna be in the trench drain, and it'll be maintained and cleaned out again several times a year.
But it's 5 mm's. How is that going to be captured?
Again, it's not going to be. It's gonna be captured by being in the trench drain.
What's the size of the trench drain and what goes through it? How are you capturing the 5 mm's of the crumb? That is a very valid discussion.
Ma'am, you asked the question, ma'am. Please let him answer the question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Apologies.
The only thing I could say is between the trench drain and the outflow structure, we believe that anything will settle in that area, and very little, if anything, will go off-site. Other than that, I'm not going to stand here and say that we have a filtration system or anything like that, because we're not doing anything like that.
Okay, so this is, just to re-emphasize, this is based on a belief and not based on data, correct?
It's based on every turf field that I've designed in this state so far in many high schools throughout the state, and we have not had a problem with that. So yes, that's what I'll say. It's based on my experience.
I'll leave the rest of my questions to commentary then. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Brian Goss. I live at 63 Frederick Place, but I'm representing the estate of Joseph Ward, which is 15 Elder, which backs up to the property. What effect will this have on the water table? The houses on Elder have sump pumps going continuously when it rains. And you said you're going to capture the runoff, and you're going to leave the property tilted toward the township road department. But, a field turf, if it's a soccer field, is going to have a crown to it.
There's no crown on this field.
So you're going to have it tilted toward?
Yes. It's the entire field. If you look at it's not up here anymore. If you look at our grading plan, everything's tilted towards the Public Works Recycle Center. The entire field is sloped that way.
Okay. And then with, going down the 12 inches of gravel and whatnot, moving all that soil, is there any impact on the water table for the surrounding area?
No, when we did soil testing. We found the water table was down several feet because we have to maintain at least 2 feet from the bottom of our bed. And I could tell you what it is. I could pull a report and tell you what it is, but we don't think it's going to impact. And one of the reasons being the soil is so slow to percolate. It's a KZ, I have the numbers here for you.
That's right. I think the point.
I could share those numbers with you, but we punched like 12 holes out there, and every one of them came out with a K0 soil. So the soil is not very permeable.
Okay.
So I think it's going to mostly run off.
Great. And I think the point that the residents would they'd rather see it over-engineered than under-engineered, just for impact on them. And then just to be a good neighbor, can there be a buffer added to that tree line for the residents that back up to it?
Those trees are pretty big. I mean,
if they end after the second property, the third and fourth have nothing, which are, one's directly behind home plate on a softball field.
Oh, you're saying the first two have all the trees you're saying back on?
Right.
I mean, I could certainly talk to the school about it.
And I know that the next witness will say who's going to use it, but if you've got a baseball game and a softball game going on simultaneously, how are the fans going to get from, I'm assuming all the parking is going to be at Frelinghuysen, how are they going to get to the softball field while a baseball game is going on?
Well, right now, there's an asphalt path that goes from the school out to the cul-de-sac. And there'll be enough room to go around the field, okay, and go between the tree line and the field, or they could go around the baseball field and walk along that edge of the field to get, I mean, either way, they'll be able to go either direction.
So there's going to be access from outside the fence to the softball field.
Yeah.
There's going to be gates in for the athlete to get onto the field. But do you mean spectators?
Spectators and or athletes, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's gates there's going to be fenced. The whole thing's going to be fenced. There'll be gates
but
for
my question. The point of my question is, if there's access gates along Elder, then people are going to park on Elder and walk through lawns to get to the softball field. You know, that might be a question for the next witness as to who and when is going to use the facility. But as they've seen with youth soccer that was a few years ago, you know, both sides of Elder were parked. It was a parking lot. I'm surprised an emergency vehicle could actually get up the road and make the turnaround. In fact, I'm sure a fire truck couldn't. So is there going to be, you know, parking issues addressed along with this? That would be a township question.
I mean, we obviously anticipate everyone parking on the school property, but
yeah, and Santa just came too.
Mr. Jim, Mr. Jim Vaccaro, can you tell me how many parking spaces there are on site?
There's 140 parking spaces.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And then my final question is, again, who's going to use it and when, but restrooms, porta-johns, are there going to be, you know, the nearest restroom is up at the school, right?
We're talking about bringing a restroom trailer onto the property for people to use during games.
And where would that be located?
It'll be located on the Frelinghuysen side, somewhere in the area of where the parking is right now.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions for this witness?
Yeah, I have to really, have you really thought about?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Can you please give us your name and address for the record, please?
Mary McCready. I live at 11 Elder Drive.
11 Elder Drive. Okay, please ask your questions of the witness based on his testimony.
Okay, so one, I need to know, you said the structures are there's going to be dugouts, right?
There's going to be dugouts, correct.
All right, so this is basically what you, Mr. Newmark, said, that is basically a courtesy hearing right now. So we don't really have a say in what happened.
Ma'am, what's your question regarding the dugouts of the engineer?
I have a question because I'm concerned about the parking, and have you thought about where these people are going to park when they are going to be going up there? There's 140, but we know from past experience that they're going to be parking on Elder Drive. So what are you going to do about the parking on Elder Drive?
I think that's a question for the township.
Yeah, I can't stop people from parking. So I agree with the attorney. It's a question for the township.
I'm on the township committee, and that is a great question to ask in a public commentary. We have a meeting coming up the third Wednesday of the month. I think it's the 27th. I would urge you to ask that question because the township committee should address it.
Any other questions for this witness? Nope. Okay.
Hi. Were you going?
I was going to. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Gisela Harpel. I live at 19 Elder Drive. What material is the turf made of?
It's made of a synthetic, it's a form of polyethylene or plastic.
Is it polyester? Is
No.
it nylon?
Polyethylene. It's polyethylene. Right.
Okay. Does it stay in place?
Yes.
Or when kids or adults play on it, do little pieces come off?
The turf itself stays in place.
But
The grass fibers stay in place.
But the things break off.
Not really. No, the grass fibers stay in place. They're woven into the backing of the material. It's like for lack of a better term, it's like a carpet. Okay, it's the old days of the shag rug. Okay, it's woven into the back. So no, the fibers stay in place, and then the infill is a mixture of sand and rubber. That's what goes in between the fibers, and that's what keeps the fibers from standing up.
And what happens to the sand and the rubber?
It stays in place. It stays right there.
Really?
Yes.
The sand too?
Yes. For the first thing that goes down when they put the what we call the carpet. They put the carpet down. After the carpet goes down, a layer of sand goes down first. Okay, that acts as a ballast to hold it from not picking up. Then there's a mixture of sand and rubber above that, and then it's topped with a small layer of just rubber. But that's what's inside that infill. So it stays in place.
Maybe.
Okay.
But we don't know that 100%.
Okay.
In which case, what happens next if something comes loose or can move? Will it get drained into the drains that you're building?
No, that's what one of the questions was before. Like I said, there may be some crumb rubber that gets into the trench drain on, if we get a heavy rain, maybe there'll be a few. Again, I've seen it on tracks that we design all the time, and somebody goes in and opens it up and cleans it out. But I mean, that's the way it is.
The trench drains are essentially holders of water. Is that right?
Well, the trench drain is at the bottom. In other words, everything's sloping from south to north. Okay, the entire field is one grade going south to north.
Right.
And we only have a trench drain on the one north side. The other three sides don't have a trench drain.
Where would the trench drain
On the north side, it would
on
be
the
so.
north. And where does it empty?
It empties to an outfall structure. It empties to an outfall structure, which is behind home plate. In that outfall structure, there will be a weir that will hold the water back. Most of the water will stay there, and then it's going to overflow. Okay, overflow and then go into the existing storm drainage system that makes its way through the municipal property.
Okay. Just totally different, but nonetheless, since we're talking about water, it has a very high water table. It did until about a year ago, since we got the drought. And prior to that, old maps show that was wetlands. That whole field area was wetlands.
Ma'am, I apologize for interrupting, but are you asking a question of the witness? Are you getting to a question?
No, I'm finishing right now.
Okay, well then, please do come back and make that statement under oath so it'll count during the public comment period, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Horahan. I am on the Environmental Commission. Do you want my address?
Yeah. Thank you.
Was that a yes?
Yes, yes, please.
8 Sherman Place. One question that I had was regarding the trench drain that we're talking about and the weir structure. I believe that there is a 2-inch hole at the very bottom of the weir, which is where all the water will be accumulating. So do you anticipate that the crumb rubber and any particles which eventually do degrade and break off, will they all be channeled to that weir and then be funneled out through the 2-inch hole?
Well, first of all, the trench drain discharges into the under drain of the system. So the trench drain doesn't go straight into the outflow structure. Trench drain goes into the pipe that runs around the perimeter of the field. That ultimately then will go to the outflow structure. So by the time it goes all the way through, again, I'm not going to sit here and say not one piece will go through. It may go through. It's going to be very, very little because, again, it settles we've seen it settle in the trench drain. We've seen it over and over again. And then it gets cleaned out. And obviously, as the engineer had mentioned too, as part of our maintenance plan, we have to also not only clean that out, but we have to go into the outfall structure, and that needs to be cleaned out. So if any debris or any crumb rubber or anything goes in there, it'll be cleaned out.
Okay, I guess I have a comment on that, but I will not make that comment at this point. But then my other question was, and I totally understand that you do not need permission from this board regarding approval of this plan. But one question I had is about the township's tree ordinance and whether or not the school district has to comply with the township tree ordinance regarding any of the trees on that north end that may be removed.
I'm not sure of that, but during a conversation that we had with the Environmental Commission, I think you were part of it. I think the business administrator did mention that the district is going to be planting trees throughout the district, and we certainly are willing to plant some here. I think that was mentioned at our meeting.
Yeah, but I guess I'm just trying to see where the jurisdiction for the tree ordinance lies, like
Well,
whether
you'd have to ask the municipality that.
Perhaps Mr. Warner?
Yeah. The Steve Warner, board attorney. The tree ordinance, while it's under the general police powers as opposed to the zoning ordinance, technically, I believe, at least for the purposes of the planning board's jurisdiction, we have no jurisdiction over that other than recommending. Again, there's no approval authority that we have by jurisdiction. Not even so much that they don't have to ask us. Technically, we don't have the authority to do it regardless. But I think that's I think it may be that the board makes such a recommendation. And I think we're hearing that there may be compliance with that recommendation in whole or in part by the school district. One would hope so.
Mr. Warner, I'm sure that the school district would be cooperative with respect to that issue.
And I think we made that statement during our meeting.
Okay, thank you. I anticipate it'll be a recommendation, but I don't want to speak for the board. Never would.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the public, for this witness? Okay, seeing none, we'll close.
We have one.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Good.
Hold on.
Not yet.
Yeah, sorry.
Not yet, maybe.
Hi, my name is Kareem Solomon, and I live at 11 East Cove Lane. So the first question I have is the stormwater management report for the turf field the same type of study used for a grass field with different runoff assumptions?
It is the same type of study, but I think if you had a grass field and you were replacing it with a grass field, and maybe you were doing grading, maybe the time of concentration may change a little bit, it may affect the runoff, but it's the same study, yes. In other words, and what I mean by that is you have a pre-development and you have a post-development. So in a pre-development, if it's grass, and a post-development and it's grass, the only thing that's going to change your numbers would be possibly the slopes and the runoff as far as the time of concentration. But the study's the same. You look at the pre and you look at the post. In our situation, the post is what's considered an impermeable surface. Okay, there's 100% runoff. Okay, and that's why we have to hold it back and capture that. But it's the same type of study. The answer to your question is yes.
Same study. Okay. And what stormwater regulations govern that study, and how do they differ from the standards in place versus the fields on the west and south?
It's the best water, BMP, the best stormwater management practices, from the state of New Jersey. It's regulated by the New Jersey DEP, Department of Environmental Protection.
And were those older regulations applied to the west and south fields when they were constructed?
Well, some of the regulations just changed in 2023, and we're abiding by the new regulations.
Okay. And then just final question, what's the infiltration rate that's used in the turf field analysis, and was it field tested?
We use no infiltration rate for the storm underneath the field. We use 0. And and we use 0 in the post-development. So in the pre-development, we used what they call a CN number or a coefficient number. I could share that with you. I think it's somewhere in the 60s, 70s, or 80s. I don't remember. I could share that with you. But in the post-development, we use 98, okay, which is almost everything but 2% runs off. And those numbers are stipulated by the DEP. We use their numbers that they give us in their criteria.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, then we can move on to Mr. Horton.
Yes. Mr. Horton, you've been sworn?
Yes.
Mr. Horton, you are the Morristown High School Athletic Director, is that correct?
That is correct.
And how long have you held that position?
This is my 11th year.
Now, the Technical Coordinating Committee specifically asked us to inform the board and the public how the field is going to be used, when the field is going to be used, and by whom the field is going to be used. And it's a 3-part question. Can you answer each of those questions?
I will do my best.
Thank you.
The new turf field at Frelinghuysen High School, Middle School, will be used primarily by 4 varsity teams. That's going to be our boys and girls soccer teams in the fall, our boys baseball team in the spring, and our girls softball team also in the spring.
So these are the high school teams?
That is correct.
Okay.
The high school teams. This will be for practices and for games. The hours currently Monday through Friday, 2:30 to 7 p.m. Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sundays, the field can be used by the recreation departments as they are currently being used. Our middle school physical education classes will use the field on a daily basis while school's in session from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The months of use for our fall season, it will be August through November. The field will be set up for soccer at that time, as I stated. We currently rent space at Central Park, also known as Greystone. We've been renting there for the past 10 years. The spring season, March through June, high school baseball and high school softball, as we stated. I heard concern earlier about the fields that are currently there at Frelinghuysen Middle School. Those fields are the middle school baseball field and the middle school softball field. We do have one varsity softball field there. but we do not have a junior varsity field. We currently use Vets Field as our junior varsity field. Our 3 baseball teams, freshman level, JV level, and our varsity level, have all participated at Harder Road in the past. So obviously we can't have, there's 2 fields at Harder Road and 3 teams. Our middle school teams will have the ability to use these fields for championship games or when the high school teams are away. During the summer, June and July, the field will be used by our summer camp at Freeland Heights Middle School, Monday through Friday, summer league for baseball and softball, and we will evaluate any need of our recreation departments.
Is that it?
I believe so.
I have nothing further.
So just clarify, correct me if I'm wrong. So the only day of the week that it's available to the township would be Sundays.
Currently, yes.
And I didn't hear anything about winter sports.
Yes, because normally by 4 o'clock, it's too dark to be out there. We don't have any use of our turf field at the high school.
And we've
during the winter.
indicated there would be no lights.
No lights.
Okay, no lights, okay. Will there be any sound system?
There will be no sound system.
No, okay.
Well, I may stand corrected.
I was told that we may put a portable system in just for, a game situation, obviously not used during practice, but I was told that we may be putting something just to, call out the player's name who's, up to bat and so on. But it'll be something portable.
But it won't be a tower, because I didn't see any tower or anything like that to broadcast. Okay.
Mr. Horton, I may have tuned out when you said this, and I apologize if you've already mentioned this. During the summer months when school is out,
Yes.
will the fields be used by anyone, non-school teams?
Yes, so it'll still be set up for our baseball and softball carrying through the spring. So if there are summer leagues that our baseball and softball team would like to participate in, also our recreational departments, if they would like to utilize those fields as well.
Okay, so only if the school teams are participating, not an outside
That is correct.
league or anything like that?
That is
Okay.
correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Does the public have any questions for this witness?
Yes.
Please, okay.
Again, my name is Gisela Harpel. I live at 19 Elder Drive. Why were the 2 fields that are on the west side of Frelinghuysen, why haven't they not been used? They have been abandoned. Nobody has played there, as far as I know. And there is one that's closer to the garage, and then there is one that's further away. One looks a little more maintained, but neither one really looks as though really they have many teams playing there. So why do they look like that? And why build 2 teams on the new turf field and not maintain or renovate the other?
I believe we use every inch of area we have at Frelinghuysen Middle School. I do not know which field you're referring to that is overgrown.
They're not overgrown, but they are abandoned and they're not well maintained.
Yep.
We utilize every inch of that place that we own, to my
Yeah,
knowledge.
But I mean, they're the ones, if you go to the tennis courts, the
Yes.
fields are attached. And I've never, ever seen, we walk around there all the time, and I've never seen anybody play there in the spring, in the summer, in the fall, in the afternoon, on the weekends. No.
You're referring to the baseball and softball field behind?
Yeah, not the big new softball field that The big one.
Okay,
that's
on the
at
lower,
top,
on the lower end
on
there.
the lower ankle.
Yes, those are our middle school fields. They play on those fields.
No, well, if they do, they hide it very well.
They're there in the spring. It was just the softball field was just redone this past spring.
No, doesn't look like it to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions of this witness? Okay, well,
No further witnesses.
no further witnesses, okay. Then I guess we could open it up for public comment then, unless you just, on this application.
Yeah. Oh, you can open a public comment, Mr. Chairman. It's a public hearing.
Yes, I just said, we'll open it up for public comment.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I heard someone say no. Okay.
No. And in this case, again, we'd ask you to your name and address and to be sworn in, because this is if you're going to be making comment, it's semi-testimony and it goes on the record. So Mr. Warner will swear you in. It's an official part to be part of the record.
Name and address first, please.
Yes.
I guess I'll go back.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you. Vicki Bargu, 11 Mark Twain Drive in Morris Township.
And please raise your right hand. Thank you. Do you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now it has the weight of testimony. Please proceed.
Thank you.
Swing the mic
What
around.
I'm quite concerned about is the health of the community, especially the children, as well as the environment. I know you can't comment on it, but I wanted to provide it to the board. So if you guys can, it sounds like this will be sent to the Board of Education or something like that in Trenton. Maybe it's something from the township that we can actually bring up. So when investigating TERPs, there is a new bill right now in the state of New Jersey, and this is what I was stating before, which is Bill 3783. And it says that the bill prohibits school districts and state departments and agencies in New Jersey from purchasing, installing, or using artificial turf for new or existing fields. The reason for this is numerous health and environmental hazards associated with synthetic turf, including harmful chemicals such as carcinogens, neurotoxins, and endocrine disruptors, as well as microplastics and PFAS. So I think that's a very important concern. I know the Environmental Commission put together an addendum on that. There's a couple key things. Considering the turf is made out of PFAS, phthalates, and microplastics, this is something really quite harmful for children. We're dealing with folks that I think you stated are the primary use of the fields are teenagers. So we're talking anywhere from the age of 14 to the age of 18, correct? Is that? Yeah. So this is the time and the age where there's reproductive health. These chemicals actually are endocrine disruptors. So that actually impacts your thyroid, and it impacts overall increase in cancers and other things. There's actually a series, I read the environmental report that was provided to us, but there's been new statements by the EPA, DSG, which are not in there, as well as the CDC in regards to the link of health issues with these products. I know you said there's about 100 turf fields, but if you look at the movement in the state of New Jersey with this bill, as well as other municipalities, they're actually moving away from turf fields and going to grass. Now, with grass, there could be a state that grass is more expensive versus that of turf, or turf more expensive or not versus maintenance. I'm an economist by training, so I've actually evaluated the cost implications. If this is done properly with grass, you will actually be able to have it run in March, especially if you can address the water table as well as the drainage. So I don't necessarily think that's a concern. The other thing from a health perspective that I think we should consider, especially from an athletic director, there's a lot of research out there in regards to injuries of teenagers from the age of 14 to 18 in regards to ACLs, sprains on turf versus that of grass. When we look at that data, The data shows there's an increase in ACL pools, which, as you all know, is quite detrimental for a D1 athlete or D2, which many of the athletes at Morristown will be in the future, which is amazing. And that is a huge concern. So overall, I just want to bring this up to the committee that even though we're not really necessarily able to comment, I do feel as a citizen in the township, this is a huge concern from a health perspective for the children as well as from the environment. I don't think it's sufficient what was provided to us in regards to the drainage. I do think if we look at the environmental report today, the 5 millimeter of the microplastics are going to feed into the water system. If we evaluate the water system, there is a tributary. Right now, that tributary is very fresh and clean. We have frogs in there. It's beautiful. If all of a sudden you are implementing PFAS in that, we are going to use the natural aspects of Morris Township that we're trying to achieve. That then also if you follow the tributary, also then goes to, what's the pathway? Patriots Path. And that is very sacred for the township. So again, think of that, think of the environment, and think of the animals that are going to be drinking that water. So that's all I have to say. I think this really needs to be evaluated from an environmental perspective. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, please.
Okay, my name again is Gisela Harpel. I live in 19 Elder Drive.
Ms. Harpel, please raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Please proceed.
There are several concerns I have. One of them has to do with the wildlife in our area. They're going to be profoundly affected. We have deer, we have fox, we have Canada geese, but that's a whole other issue. I mean, they use us as a migratory place. But we have skunk, we have raccoons, there's a lot of wildlife, we have coyote, and they're all going to be affected by this because the fields are their way to get from one place to another. And that really makes me very sad and very unhappy about what we are doing to our environment when we are essentially putting down plastic to take over the world that they live in. And they can't live there because it's not only the plastic, but it's also a fence. So what are they going to do? And that's a concern. I'm also concerned about, as has been said before, the parking, because in the past when we've had games in the fields and so on, Elder Drive would be a parking lot, even though there was parking at the school, but there are many people who would rather park where we live than go down to the school, because after all, it's easier to get to. And if the ball fields and the fields are right behind my house, it's easier. And you will even get people walking through your property in order to get there, even though we have a fence. You know, so that's an issue. But more than anything, just because I did swear I would say nothing but the truth, I want to say that I had, when we moved, I've lived there, my husband and I moved there in 1977. And one of our really elderly neighbors next door was explaining to me one day when they bought their house and moved in, the fields behind us were all wetlands. And I've since then seen an old map old map somewhere that showed that there was actually a small pond in there. And I mean, just to make this artificial grass, it really is sad. I know it's changed, everything is different, and that's how nature is. But we shouldn't encourage disappearing nature with adding stuff to it that we made ourselves. And I'm saying this, my husband was a scientist, and he would have been very upset. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm sorry. I have to just, this is Mary McCready. I live at 11 Elder Drive. I swear that the testimony I will give is.
Yes, I see you. Hang on. Do you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
My concern is that several years ago, we had experienced the soccer madness. So we had asked the township we didn't have the ability that they were parking on both sides. So we had both sides. There was no way for an ambulance, a fire truck, anywhere for a vehicle besides. You had just this much room. You barely could get up your car, up the street. And you couldn't even get in your driveway. So we asked the township then, and we appealed to the township, and you all came out, and the mayor and everybody came out, and the fire chief and everybody came out, and they put up signs, and they gave the one side of the street cones, and that worked for a long time. And then they moved the fields up to the Central Park, and that was great. Beautiful. But now you're proposing to put these fields. So what impact is that going to have on us? That is my concern. Because we still have, not only do we have elderly people living on our street who are infirmed, some of them can't move. You have children that are living on our street now. So these parents are coming up our street flying and dropping their kids off because Johnny's late for practice. Well, guess what? It's not that kind of street. It's a dead end. So I don't know I don't know where you could put these fields, but there's got to be someplace else. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Kathleen Harahan from the Environmental Commission. I live at 8 Sherman Place.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to God or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Okay, I just had a follow-up comment about the field and the water that's going to be captured in the field, and the weir that's in the outfall structure is designed to hold the water to make it be like a bathtub. And so when it rains, it will all be held back at like a 400-foot level elevation so that it's designed to hold all of that water in there and stop it from going out. But it doesn't stop it from going out because at the very bottom of the weir, so the weir I believe is like 3 feet tall, and at the very bottom of the weir is a 2-inch hole. So it's designed to make the water slowly leave the field. But I feel that whatever particles are going to be coming out of the system, whether it's from the trench drain or however else they're migrating, and they can be microplastics that can be getting through the system. I feel like during a storm event,
they will be pushed and like gushed along the flow of the water into that 2-inch opening. And that's all I can imagine, is that lots and lots of particles are going to be going right into the storm drain. And from the storm drain, it goes directly into the river, the Whippany River. So that is my concern. I'm not sure what can be done about it, but that's a big concern that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public comment section. Any final words from Mr. Newark?
Mr. Chairman, board members, members of the public, I think that the public has spoken very eloquently. I've been doing this a long time, and this is some of the most eloquent and impassioned presentation that's been made. But please understand that for the reasons I expressed earlier, we are not prepared to, nor do we think we're obliged to, present evidence to the contrary. So I don't want our silence in that respect to be taken as agreement with what the public has said tonight. You've heard the application. It is as a courtesy. This board has a limited jurisdiction. Mr. Warner will explain to you, has explained to you what is next with respect to what you're supposed to do. And we thank you for your time, and that the matter has been fully discussed and appropriately discussed. And we thank you for your time.
Before we move on, I'd like to take a crack at proposing a resolution here, which would be one, certainly fully supporting the education, but efforts to improve the athletic facilities of this town. I certainly can't, argue with that. And recognizing that we have, no jurisdiction to, deny the application, I would like, and I don't feel that we're in any position to judge really the relative merits of the environmental merits and health and safety merits of these things in our board, because there's a lot of conflicting information. So part of I think part of our recommendation should be that we recommend that the New Jersey Department of Education, consider carefully all these, the new studies, and consider carefully in any application to put in artificial turf in light of the new legislation and everything else. But then have them, they're the ones that should have to make the final decision. Let them decide and urge them to re-examine the trade-offs between artificial turf and grass. So that would be a general recommendation that we hardly recommend the state Department of Education do that. More specifically, I would recommend on the other applications is that one, that the Education Department the district,
I'm sorry, Mr.
looks
Chairman,
at,
speak up a little.
oh, I'm sorry, will agree to comply with the tree ordinance at a minimum, and possibly go beyond that and to look at improving the screening specifically around the softball infield area, the screening from the residences that are in there, and kind of in line with that, but also to work with the township and develop some kind of parent-student education program, work with the township on dealing with the traffic situation on Elder Drive. I mean, I think that's there's not much you can do individually, but that it'd be education with the parents and the students and everything involved in athletics. And then a third recommendation I would have was that if sound systems are to be used even on a temporary basis, to make sure that those speakers are pointed away from the residences. Does that make sense to everyone?
Complete sense.
Does that cover it?
I agree with all of that. I think it would be good to state to the Department of Education that some of the members of the board have serious concerns about turf fields and the environmental impact thereof. We're not experts, but we think that there are some serious matters that should be considered.
And along those lines, I'd like to thank members of the public for coming out to the hearing and informing us about things, and commend the the Environmental Commission for the great work that was done. It really added a lot to the discussion. Our country has a long history of allowing, pollutants and to affect our health, and this might just be another one of those things, which eventually they're going to say, yeah, it was a bad idea. So, so you're speaking up really does make a difference, even though we know that in this case, it may not feel like it does. So thank you for coming and helping out.
Yeah, I'll second that. And we do appreciate your being here and going to the effort of coming and making the comments. Steve, can I entertain a motion for a resolution along those lines? And Steve, was that clear enough to draft one?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can have a resolution memorializing the findings of the board, and in particular the recommendations that the board is making. And maybe would I be correct in assuming that if the recommendations are going to be as stated, that the general recommendation expressing the concerns could incorporate by reference, if you so desire, the Environmental Commission's report and addendum?
Yes, please.
Okay, and I'll await to see if that is indeed the motion, second, and roll call vote determination of the board, but I got that.
Okay.
I'll move to that we adopt a resolution along those lines.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? We have a roll call, right?
Mr. Alesso? Yes. Mr. Flowers?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Rabbits?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Mr. Quillen?
Yes.
Mr. Bai?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The public hearing portion of it. Moving on, other matters, there a legislative committee report?
Just real quick, we did get 2 applications for cannabis licenses for the township, and we will be reviewing those in February. Other than that, nothing else in the legislative committee.
Thank you.
Mr. Rabbits, what is the process for hearing this?
For hearing
the application?
the cannabis committee will be bringing the 2 applicants in for presentation and an interview.
Is that the same committee that created the report some time ago?
No.
It's by ordinance. It's
I
am on
Mr.
it.
Bai and the mayor and
Myself.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Quinn, the police chief.
Police chief.
Anybody else? I think that was it.
That's it, right.
Thank you.
Okay, now we actually do have a closed session coming up with, and Mr. Warner will present the resolution authorizing that. I do want to point out to anyone here that, anyone that may remain or anyone on Zoom, that we will be going into closed session. And after the closed session, we have no other business, so we will be adjourning. So there's no reason after this point to hang on there. We will have nothing going on except probably a very quick motion by Mr. Alesso to adjourn. Nothing, but no business following the closed section. So there's no point. There really is no point in staying on Zoom or staying, here beyond this point. So, Mr. Warner.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. We do have a resolution to go into executive session for pending litigation. Whereas the planning board is subject to certain requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec. And whereas the Open Public Meetings Act provides that an executive session not open to the public may be held for certain specified purposes when authorized by resolution. This is a resolution. And whereas it is necessary for the planning board to discuss in a session not open to the public matters relating to pending litigation, specifically the fourth round housing element and fair share declaratory judgment action, fair share planning declaratory judgment action, as well as the Save Catch Road versus Morris Township Planning Board and Morris Catch Road LLC litigations. Those two pending litigations will be discussed in executive session. Now therefore be it resolved by the planning board that an executive session closed to the public shall be held for the aforementioned, and it is anticipated that the deliberations conducted in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the board that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. It is a resolution to go into executive session, so as the chair and the board know, because I always say it, if it's a resolution, it requires a motion and a second and a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we go into closed session, and at the end of closed session, we adjourn.
Don't get it.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Mr. Alesso,
Yes.
Mr. Flowers,
Yes.
Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Mr. Ravitch.
Yes.
Mr. Benoit,
Yes.
Mr. Quillen,
Yes.
Mr. Bai.
Yes.
So moved.
So, and I guess we'll be moving into the conference room.